1-2 on Sajasi. With 2 outs in the ninth, Sajasi swings and misses. This ball game has come to an end. The Mets swept the series. They won all 4 games, winning today 7-4.
Yep, Birds lose all 4 to the New York Mets on the road as their road woes continue. This is the Gashouse Gang and also the Blues. They take the loss in Game 1 of the Stanley Cup playoffs. We had City SC ending in a 0-0 tie over the weekend. The Battlehawks, they lost. Did anybody win? I don't know if we have any victors.
You won
this
at
weekend.
life.
Did I?
Yes, you did.
I feel like I am just getting smoked, to be honest with you. Tom Ackerman, Kevin Wheeler, Chris Ranji. It is the Gashouse Gang until 1 o'clock today, and we want to hear from you throughout the day. We're going to talk to John Rooney at 12:30. But 314-436-7900 is our phone number for calls and texts. If you are listening on the Odyssey app, you can send us a voice message directly from that. Of course, we are streaming live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. You can comment there, and if you have a question, we will try to get to it.
Okay.
So, boys, yuck.
Yeah.
Not great.
No. First of all, Blues thing is not that big a deal, right? I mean, it's game 1 of a 7-game series, and Winnipeg's really good. So you drop. It's a playoff, so it's got that little added oomph to it, but it's not the end of the world, right? It's not terrible. It's not the end of the world.
The only thing that sucks is that you had it. You had it and lost it. That's the part
that's a good point. Yeah, the tease.
On the road.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, you had a chance to steal one,
Take
get
advantage
the home
when
ice
you
advantage.
can.
Yeah, I totally agree.
The Blues one hurt easily more than the others for me. Easily. I mean, it's not even close. City with scoreless tie, so what? So they played Vancouver. They're an awesome team. Battlehawks, look, when we get to the Dome and they can get to that, that's if they don't get to that, I'll be disappointed. Otherwise, UFL season, it's fun, whatever. The Cardinals, look, they lost to the team that I picked to win the World Series. The Mets are going to win the World Series. I'm going to tell you right now. They have all the pieces to do it, and I think they will add whatever pieces they have to do it. It's about time that they won it. And I think they're going to win it, and they just played a team that's a real contender. The Cardinals aren't. I've said this 100 times already that I lowered my expectations. It's all about development to me. I'm going to read you a quote from Ollie Marmol along those lines here in just a second. The Blues easily the one that bothered me the most because, as you just said, they had it. It's not the end of the world. They can win tonight and put Winnipeg right back into the same situation where Game 3 is going to be absolutely bonkers, regardless whether they're down 0-2 or even 1-1. But you had it 3-2 second period and didn't score again. That one's tough. But it's not the end of the world, and they'll bounce back.
It's also the best team in the conference that you're facing.
Yeah, they're great.
Yeah.
And
not that big a deal.
And the Mets, I think, are the best team going right now. Let me read you a quick quote from Ollie because I brought it up. He said, this is the Saturday game. You could point this to any of the games, in my opinion. But he said Saturday, Katie Wu, I should properly attribute this to her because she posted it. Saturday was a perfect example of a youthful game in a lot of different ways. There are youthful moments, and they have to experience that, learn from that. Our job is to make sure that it doesn't look that way in July. But the last thing you can do is get pissed at this group, and then they start playing timid or scared or playing not to lose rather than growing. When I watched Saturday's game, this is Ollie talking, normally I would have the absolute ass. But with this group, you can't do that. That's not what this is about right now. They'll develop a lot faster and growth will take place a lot quicker if you don't do that. He's doing exactly what I'm doing, which is not getting upset about L's as much as if I don't see development within the team, then I'm going to get upset.
Yeah, I think that's fine. But at the same time, then, if this is not about now, then why do we have 38-year-old starting pitchers out there? I mean, I think that's my issue is not with direction, performance. Look, they're 1-9 on the road, but 7 of those games are the Mets and Red Sox, right? Those are teams that are better than you. You're going to lose more often than not. Now, you shouldn't go 0-7 to them, but it's not the end. It's like you said, Tom, you just lost to a really good team that's playing great baseball. And by the way, coming into the series, I think had the number 1 pitching staff in baseball. So before you faced them, they were already pitching better than pretty much everybody else out there. So nothing wrong with that at all. I just want to get some consistency of approach, right? Like if we're talking about its development, it's a young group. We want to encourage. We don't want to criticize. Well, if that's the case, then we're spending time on guys that aren't going to be a part of the future. I think it's really interesting too, guys. I don't know if you guys, this is to me, one of the more fascinating things. It looks like Mason Wynn's going to be back tomorrow, right? He had 2 home runs yesterday in Memphis. He's on a rehab assignment. I think today is the last planned day of his rehab assignment. So if he comes out of today healthy, then you would think he'll be here. So does Sajaci go back down?
I said the same thing.
Because Sajaci's one of your best hitters right now. He's one of the only people hitting. So what do you do?
I brought this up to Mosaic, and Matt Pajeski will find this. I'll get this to you so we can play it in the next segment. But he basically started laughing when I asked that because he knew it was coming.
Of course.
What are you going to do with Sajaci now?
Right.
Yeah.
Because if we're doing this developmental thing, and I can put myself in that position. Don't worry about wins and losses, whatever. I can do that.
Absolutely.
But I need to know that is entirely what the team is doing. Like that's
half.
Yes, that's all they're doing. And I get that you want to have some veteran presence on a team. I think there is some value to that.
No, of course.
Right. But I have to feel like every single thing that is being done this year is about developing the young players and not giving Miles Michaelis starts or whatever.
Is that the
when it's
38-year-old pitcher you're referring
I'm just
to?
saying that, like, and again, it's fine if he's stable and helping you. And I think Ollie made a good point on this last week when he was talking about beyond McGreevy, there's not a lot there in terms of pitching depth in the minor leagues because a bunch of guys are on the injured list and others are just kind of guys, right? Not to be mean, but like Sem Roberto is just a guy. Gordon Graceffo right now as a starter is just a guy. Maybe as a reliever down the road, he might be an impact guy, but there isn't a lot there. So I understand coverage. I'm not saying we got to just bang everybody that's over 35 and throw them out of the roster.
That's not even realistic.
Right. No, not at all. Just saying that more often than the guy that we should be skipping in the rotation would be the guy that's the older one that is not going to really build trade value because of what's gone on the last couple of years.
Right.
But mostly too, like if this is about development, if you have a young guy like Sajaci who is performing, doesn't he have to play?
I would think.
And on a developing team, what's more important? Another young player that's going to be playing for the moment because he's playing well, or a defense-only backup center fielder. How's that help a developing team? Now, if you're a 95-win team,
that's a great piece to have.
Absolutely.
Sure.
But if you're a developing team, and again, I don't like it to be about that because look, Luken Baker hasn't been doing much for about 2 weeks now. Maybe he's the guy that goes, and maybe Sajaci takes that role facing all lefties, but then you got to find him time in at least a couple other games a week, right?
Oh man, not Matt Pauly's guy, Luken Baker.
I know.
Man.
I'm just saying that, like, if a young guy is showing you something, that young guy's got to play.
Wait, I've got another question. So you just said Ciani. I'm just trying to decipher here. You said Ciani out, Sajaci in, is what you're saying.
If you're going to go by this idea that we're about developing young players, well, you've got a guy that's outperforming almost everybody else on your team since he got called up. The only guys hitting better than him right now are Brendan Donovan and who? Like he's other than Donovan, I don't know that anybody's hitting better than he is over the last 7 to 10 days, maybe 14 days. That's not a be all end all, of course.
So the other thing that I struggle with is because I'm pro Sajaci here. I love Thomas Sajaci, but I've got Contreras, Donovan, Wynn, Arenado, Nootbaar, Scott, Walker, Pages. I don't see a spot. Is he the DH? Where is Sajaci? And by the way, my second part to that question, Kevin Wheeler, is does Sajaci have to play every day?
Not every day, but you got to play 4 or 5 games a week. You can't play twice a week and be a developing player. And if you're only going to face, like, let's say we put him in the Luken Baker role, well, then he's not going to face right-handers. How's he? That's who he's going to face 75% of the time in his career. So if he's going to be a quality everyday player, you need to face right-handed pitching. So it's a challenge. But again, there's a path. Less time for Burleson. Whoa,
that's weird.
What's going on with the echo?
I'll fix that. Don't worry.
All right, there we go.
That was kind of
trippy.
That's pretty trippy.
I thought I got real high real fast.
If playing him, the guy that's playing well, now again, there's a chance here where he just stops hitting really well, and then he can go back and develop at Memphis. But if he's playing really well, that could mean an extra day off a week for Nolan Arenado. That could mean Burleson plays less because Burleson's not hitting. Let's be honest, he's not hitting. Gorman's 1 for 14 since coming off the injured list. And I think, again, I know the player has some say here, but not having a rehab assignment coming off of the time that he missed probably put him in this position. And now you're playing this game of, again, how do we get him in the lineup? Who do we take out? I think it's hard because you have too many guys. You already have 10 guys for 9 spots, which is the question about Sajasi, right?
Yeah.
If he's here, he's got to play.
Yep.
So then that means that 2 of those other guys are not playing, and you can't take Donovan out right now. You're not taking Newtbar out. Walker's been terrible, by the way. I don't know if you guys have caught this, but for like the last 10 days, he hadn't done anything.
But I don't know what you do with him other than play him.
Right.
Every
and
day.
The same thing with Gorman and the same thing with Burley, right? That's kind of the problem,
He's
right?
not getting deep into counts, Walker.
No, he's gotten more.
A lot of chasing.
He's gotten more aggressive,
Yep.
and that's what has done him in. He's chasing too much. He can't lay off the slider low and away.
Then that's the thing. I know that, look, I'm not in a position, so I probably shouldn't speak on it, but it's always fascinating to me that younger hitters are always seem to be susceptible to that. Slider low and away, breaking ball low and away. They cannot lay off that. Why is that so difficult for them?
Well, I mean, because when you're in younger levels, the sliders aren't as good.
They don't break them.
So
much.
they don't. Right. That's exactly. Basically, yeah. They get hung more often, so they're not located as well. And they're not as quality a pitch as you're going to get in the major league. So when you combine the two things, that's a pitch that you probably hit in the minors. You probably take that slider low and away, and it's not as sharp, and it doesn't break as late, and you see it better out of the hand, and you could actually probably take it and knock it into right field for a single. In the big leagues, it's just a foul ball, swing and miss, weak ground ball because it's just a better pitch from the guys that throw it.
Yeah, and it's got good velocity, so it comes out of the hand kind of hot, and then you're like, "Up."
I mean, the stuff at AAA isn't any different than the stuff in the major leagues, but the command is. I mean, there's a reason why big leaguers are big leaguers. It's because they mostly don't miss, and if they do, they miss by an inch or two instead of by 6 inches and leaving it out over the middle.
Mitchell is watching on YouTube and says it really does feel like development for a handful of players, but the entire team doesn't feel like that. It seems like they backed themselves into a corner with the no trade clauses in contracts.
Well, he follows up here. I'll throw that up there where he says this. I'm an Arenado fan, but the Sajasi situation wouldn't be that big of an issue if they were able to move him this offseason.
That's
correct.
Right.
This is absolutely 100% correct.
And it's also not having a plan B in case you couldn't move no one.
Right.
And I'm not sure there's a good one either, right? It would mean moving someone out of the group that you're looking at, right? It would mean moving Gorman or Burleson or somebody like that, which I'm sure is something they don't want to do because you're not selling high. So I get it. Like it's not super easy when your whole off season hinges on trading one guy with a no trade clause who makes a lot of money coming off a down year and he's in his mid 30s now. Like that's a hard thing to work around, but that's where they were, and that's really what impacts the Sajasi thing.
I just have this feeling Gorman's going to end up with like the Diamondbacks or something and hit like 1 million home runs.
Oh yeah, it'll be the Arena
if you trade him.
It's just a bad spot for him right now too because he missed. He didn't take a rehab assignment. He came back and just jumped right into the mix. But also his playing time has been super sporadic. How do you expect somebody to kind of figure it out when you're playing a game or two and then sitting a game or two and play? It's really difficult.
That's the thing. And I don't like the idea of yo-yoing these guys up and down either.
No, I don't either.
It's sometimes it's unavoidable, but I'd like to do that as little as possible. But if Thomas Sajasi is here, he is going to have to play. I think you're right on with the 4 or 5 games a week. He's going to have to get in there and get some time.
Doesn't have to be precise.
Right.
If you're facing more lefties, because again, if you're sending Baker down, there's an automatic spot, right? That's a spot that's occupied. But do you really want to do that? You want to give up on him too, and as that weapon? I know it's always stuck in the middle.
Let us know what you think. 314-436-7900 to text or call. Leave a message on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitter if you're watching at KMOX Sports. It's the Gashouse Gang, Ackerman, Wheeler, and Ranji on KMOX.
Tom Ackerman here. Busey Bank proudly recognizes the Glen Ed Pantry as a building community partner for the services and food they provide to more than 250 families in the Edwardsville School District each month. Food insecurity severely impacts every part of a family's life. More than 600 volunteers and donors make it possible for the pantry to fulfill their mission to provide food and services with dignity and respect. Learn more at glenedpantry.org. That's glenedpantry.org.
This is Rob Schwartz, Senior Vice President of Busey Bank. The Glen Ed Pantry, our community promise partner, is building a brighter future, a new home for Glen Ed Pantry built by the community for generations to come. The need is growing, and your help is vital to make this vision a reality. Learn all about the campaign at glenedpantry.org. That's what building community is all about. Join Busey. Get involved as we continue building the communities we call home.
If you're drowning in IRS debt and can't afford to pay, then you need to take advantage of special IRS tax programs that are available and free yourself from IRS collection efforts once and for all. Due to the financial hardship consumers are facing throughout the country, the Internal Revenue Service has made it easier to settle delinquent tax problems. An open phone line has been established by Community Tax for consumers to call and see if they qualify. Take down this number or store it in your cell phone, but call the Community Tax Helpline at 800-536-9607. If you owe back taxes to the IRS and cannot afford to pay them back, or even if you have years of unfiled tax returns, there's no need to fear anymore. But you have to call the Community Tax Helpline today at 800-536-9607 for the help that you need. Don't take on the IRS alone. They can attack your wages, savings, pension, home, and even your Social Security check. Call 800-536-9607 for your free consultation and to see if you qualify. That's 800-536-9607.
Now, 90 and 60. A look back at the latest St. Louis City SC match. Presented by Woods Basement Systems, Inc.
Baumgartel and Co. at the top of the 60. Gets wing for close. He turns a hitter and gets stopped on the line and ultimately bounces up for the keeper to grab. Campo takes it in line. Keeper tries to block it and throwing a claw out loose. Disrupts the cross and caught a body in the process. Close. He turns a hitter and gets stopped on the line and ultimately bounces up for the keeper to grab. Our final score, St. Louis City, nothing. Vancouver, nothing.
Up next, City SC faces LAFC Sunday night. Kick at 6 p.m. on Y98.
Tripping over uneven concrete? Don't replace it, raise it with concrete leveling. Call the all things basement-y experts, Wood Basement Systems, for a free estimate at 618-249-5503 or learn more at woodsbasementsystems.com.
Hey guys, Glover here with my friend Mark Cantor at Cantor Injury Law. So as you know, I'm a lawyer, so I take this very seriously. Mark is a great attorney. He has a great team. He is from St. Louis. He is local. Call 314-628-9999 or visit cantorinjurylaw.com. Hey guys, Glover here with my friends Mark and Neil Gelman from the Gelman team of eXp Realty. Selling your home, every situation is unique. Find the best options that are right for you from the real estate team who offer more options. 314-336-1991. Go to the GelmanTeam.com.
This month, Siteman Cancer Center spotlight is testicular cancer, Dr. Woodson Smelser.
Yeah, so the first step is to talk to your doctor, and generally they would order imaging of the testicle and look for actual tumor, and oftentimes they will do an examination or send you to a urologist to have an examination. And I find that the place where a lot of times men have some hesitance or trepidation, obviously, because it seems like it may be an invasive exam, but that's an exam that could save your life.
Siteman Cancer Center, national leaders in cancer. For more information, visit siteman.wustl.edu.
For all station contest rules, go to KMOX.com/rules.
The Chris and Amy Show, weekdays starting at 9 on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Jose Buto, and he lines that one down the left field line. It's fair. One run's going to score. Rounding third base is Ciani. He's the tying run. The play at the plate. He's saved. So JC comes through, and we are tied in the seventh.
Yeah, Thomas to JC, there's a decision that'll have to happen here, whether or not he's going to go back when Mason Wynn is healthy and ready to go, but he's been contributing in the short time he's here. Tom Ackerman, we've got Kevin Wheeler, Chris Ranji today on the Gashouse Gang at 12:30 or just after 12:30 here. We're going to talk to John Rooney, the voice of the team.
Yes. First of all, great call there by Ricky Horton. That got me kind of pumped up. Secondly, this is John Mozeliak, Sports on a Sunday Morning yesterday, when I asked him, when Wynn comes back, what do you do with Sajasi?
I think back to like when we acquired him, that was the part that really attracted us, was just his offensive upside. I do think he's distinguished himself fairly well at short. We're not trying to say he's, better than Mason Wynn there, but you look at his offensive production and what he's able to do, and the fact that he can move around is pretty helpful. So, we're going to have a tough decision at some point.
So that sounded like we're not sure yet. right?
Very
That's
interesting.
what it sounds like to me.
Which is
very
again,
interesting answer.
That's totally fine, by the way. I'm okay with being uncertain at the moment. You make the call when you have to make the call, because if Wynn has a setback, say he wakes up sore today, well, then you don't have to worry about it.
Right.
That's not a decision to make. So I get that. I'm fascinated by how this plays. And, if somebody goes, I would guess it's either Baker or Siani. That would be the safest bet. I don't know. Do you think they would do it with Gorman? Just to say, go get 4 weeks of at-bats every day and see if we can't get you back to a place where you can come back and play every day? I wouldn't want to do that, because I think you're really
messing with him.
Maybe
because I don't know. I see you guys would know better. Tom is down in the clubhouse way more often than I am. I would I don't know how he is in terms of being able to handle something like that. The last thing you want to do is, we were talking about yo-yoing players.
Yeah.
And for somebody who was kind of told, like, you go into the offseason thinking, all right, they're probably going to trade Arenado. That's going to open up spots for me, or open up everyday playing time for me. Okay, that doesn't happen. Now I'm sort of in limbo. Oh, wait, now they're going to send me down a couple of weeks into the season. I don't know how he handles that. Maybe it's a thing he handles perfectly fine, Tom. I have no idea, but I kind of, at this point, for somebody who's supposed to get 500 plus at bats, or at least that was the expectation going into the year, I don't want to start doing that to him.
Yeah. No, I hate doing it.
I'm with you.
But then again, maybe it would be motivational. I don't know that he's a guy that's fragile that wouldn't be able to handle it. I think he could go down there and make them a better lineup, by the way, at Memphis. Here's Nick Jensen said, y'all remember when Mo said you could pry Gorman from his cold, dead hands, how things have changed. Actually, that was Dylan Carlson.
Yeah, right.
And that was on Sports on a Sunday Morning, where he said, you can trade for Dylan Carlson if you're willing to pry him from my cold, dead hands. And we were sitting there like, well, then I guess Dylan Carlson's not being traded. That he was the guy. He was the guy. Now, Carlson is a guy who did get opportunities, maybe not as many as some would have liked, or that he would have liked. He got some, and unfortunately, he got so many there in spring training and was ready to be the starting center fielder, and then he gets hurt in Mesa, and that was kind of the end.
Yeah,
unfortunately.
And right now, I think he's still at AAA, right? Because Tampa has him, and they called him up, but then they sent him back down, I believe. But yeah, it's look, Nolan Gorman's only had 27 at bats. He's only played 9 games because of the injury, and because he's been. But at some point, he's got to get some run.
Yep.
And Alec Burleson isn't doing anything. He's not hitting the ball hard. He's not doing anything of note. Maybe the 24-year-old guy with 30 home run power should get more run.
Yeah, maybe so. I did talk to Burley before the game on Wednesday, the day game at Busch Stadium, and he actually brought it up before I could. He said that he's struggling right now, trying to find it, and he's trying to figure out how to get the barrel on it. And
stop swinging at pitches off the plate.
Didn't know the answer, but he's going to continue to work on it and trying to figure that out. Of course, if he knew the answer, he'd be killing the ball, because we all know that he can. But yeah, he's in a rut for sure, and he knows it. And the Cardinals put out a note in their game notes today. They're trying all they can to get him going. I guess they said, where is it? Something about the South. The Cardinals have done very well in Atlanta. And then there was a note here. I can't find it. Oh, here it is. Alec Burleson enters today's game with an RBI in 7 straight games against the Braves, dating back to 2023.
But where's that same push support for Gorman? Why does he get the runway to get fixed, but Gorman can't play?
I don't know.
I think it's a question everybody's asking.
Fair question.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm going to get out of here, you guys.
Oh, yeah, you're leaving.
I mean, I can hang, but I mean, you guys got to cover
we got
with
John Rooney coming up here.
You don't need
So
me.
I guess
You
we don't
me.
need you anymore.
No, you don't need me.
But we still love you.
I know.
Seeing you.
You're the best.
Kevin Wheeler.
See you, boys.
See you, man. That's Kevin. He's going to be back with the Dave Glover Show at 1 o'clock. But in the meantime, Tom Ackerman and Chris Ranji on the Gashouse Gang. We're with you until 1. John Rooney joins us next. And don't forget, every Tuesday at 12 o'clock for that first half hour of the show, we got Cardinals manager Ollie Marmol with us for the entire time. He's taking your questions. He's taking our questions. Bernie Miklas is part of the mix. It's always very good on Tuesdays and the other days, too. Gashouse Gang on KMOX.
So, you want to buy a house, You could go online, do your research, find the dream listing, go see it, and get catfished. Back to the drawing board. More scheduling, more viewings, more. This doesn't even look like the photos. You could finally find one that does match the photos. Then comes the offer. Stress rush? Yep, make that 3. And here's the paperwork. Yep, never-ending paperwork. It's a lot. But you don't have to do it alone. Because there's an agent who's a realtor here to guide and help protect you as you find the home that's right for you. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. Right by you.
Good morning, Doctor. Doctor? Hi, Doctor. Doctor?
Dr. Jackson's practice is growing.
What do you mean we're still short-staffed?
He needs a good patient doctor.
How do we not have enough doctors to doctor all these patients?
And he doesn't have the patience to sift through hundreds of resumes.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
It's getting to be warm out there here in St. Louis right now. We are looking at a temperature of 60 degrees, and it will get up to 68 this afternoon. The weather is brought to you by Sandberg Phoenix Law Firm.
At Sandberg Phoenix, we're more than just a law firm. Our attorneys are committed to you, your business, and your community. We are ready to serve you in the areas of business litigation, intellectual property, health law, and products liability. SandbergPhoenix.com. The choice of lawyers is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertising.
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place for changes big and small. Loud or quiet, find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
I'm ready. Let me just grab my bag. Sweatpants, huh? Didn't know we were keeping it casual this month. Yeah, I feel bloated every now and then.
You have to try new Align 3-in-1 Biotic Gummies. They have prebiotics to nourish good bacteria, probiotics to help relieve occasional bloating, and postbiotics for immune support.
All that in one gummy?
Yep. So no sweatpants next time?
Not anymore.
Align 3-in-1 Biotic Gummies for gut health support. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
The following heartwarming yet informative scene is brought to you by Trust and Will.
Son, your grandpa and I used to work on this car together, and when I'm gone, I want you to have it.
Wow. Thanks, Dad.
Doesn't count. What you need is a will. Luckily, Trust and Will makes it easy. Designed by attorneys, but customized by you, you can easily create a state-specific, legally valid document that actually counts. Now, let's let the engine do the talking, am I right? Start your will at trustandwill.com. Use offer code COUNT for 20% off and make it count. Trust and Will is an online estate planning service. For details, see trustandwill.com.
Seems everything costs more these days. Gas, groceries, and when's the last time you checked your wireless bill? When it comes to big wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Switch to Consumer Cellular to get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill. Plans start at just $20 a month, and now for a limited time, new customers can get their second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit a store near you, or consumercellular.com and start saving today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Your biggest choice in home restoration is, who do you trust with your home, your most valued asset? Few can match Banner Construction's experience and dedication to excellence. Banner is an elite preferred James Hardie contractor and Pella window specialist. Restoration is a one-time opportunity to have Banner's design team show you architectural options to make your home the neighborhood showcase. Call for a free consultation, 314-569-1050, and have a banner day.
Now, the John Rooney Conversation on KMOX. Sponsored by Missouri Farm Bureau Insurance. We are Missouri Farm Bureau Insurance. And if you're a Missourian, we're for you.
The 3-2 pitch. And that's laced toward right field. Walker closes, dives, makes the catch. Lost his cap, but hangs on to it.
That's the voice of John Rooney, and you can hear him on the call tonight. Cardinals baseball, the pregame show is at 5:20 on KMOX, 6:15. First pitch, they're going to get started against the Braves in Atlanta. The road trip continues for the Cardinals after the sweep in New York, the sweep at the hands of the Mets. And now we're joined by John Rooney on the guest line on the Gashouse Gang. John Rooney, thank you for being with us today. How you doing?
Doing fine. Good to be with you guys today. It's nice and hot down here.
Oh, yeah.
After a rather cool weekend in New York, we have one hot day on Saturday, but I think the guys are really liking this.
Oh, the hot weather? Yeah, it's probably humid down there because it's Georgia.
Oh, it's not bad at all. Beautiful
Really?
day outside. Feels more like spring training.
Oh,
the
fantastic.
weather we had down in Florida.
Yeah, so the Cardinals will get started today, and the road trip continues. And we were just talking about, actually, Tom and I, during the break, about the 1-9 start to the season on the road. It's been, for the Cardinals, tougher away from home. I don't know if it's just an early season thing. I know it's kind of been a problem the last couple of years in terms of playing on the road, but what do you make of that? What do you make of the 9 losses in 10 road games?
Well, the last at bat has meant a lot in a few of these games, and the Cardinals have been able to go 8-4 at home and win against some really good pitching. And you think about it, it's a pretty tough stretch going Philadelphia, Houston, and then up against the Mets, who have the best pitching in the National League. They ran into a buzzsaw of very good pitching, yet they were able to compete. And I think the simple message here is, record aside on the road, is what they've been doing in their offensive approach, especially with their swings. Now, Jordan Walker has been pulling off pitches. He needs to get back to where he was, going directly to the ball. But the others, they have good swings. It's just a matter of making adjustments in the approach to a different pitcher, and don't give up on the good things that happened early, where the Cardinals were able to score over 100 runs and get the offense cranking. The pitching didn't fall in line. Now the pitching's a little bit better, and there are some issues to address in the bullpen. That's been a problem on the road, and they'll put some things together. But it's a young team with growing pains, and going up against pitching like that, I think it was well said by one of the players after the game yesterday. They just simply beat us. And that's what happened with the Mets over the Cardinals.
Absolutely, John. I mean, I picked the Mets to win the World Series. I think they are a phenomenal team. That's what a real contender looks like. And they got the better of the Cardinals in all 4 games. But that said, you hit on it. I think the starting pitching has been better, a lot better. In fact, I'm still blown away by Matthew Liberatore. I just think he is something special, really, really something to watch here this season.
Well, I agree with you, Tom. I think he has grown so much, and he has wanted to be a starter. And I remember when they put Mark Burley from the bullpen into the rotation in Chicago, I thought, man, I don't know if that's a good move or not, because Burley was nails out of the bullpen as a left-hander, and he threw a lot harder back then. But look at what he did as a starter, where he could receive Hall of Fame consideration. And I'm not saying that Matthew Liberatore is going to have Hall of Fame consideration, but I'm not saying he won't. If he has a start to his career as a starter, if he can continue what we've seen like that, he's terrific. You get the feeling like, hey, we have a chance to win today. And I know the players feel that way when they come to the ballpark when Matthew Liberatore is making a start, because he does keep them in the games. And he just has a different demeanor, a different swagger, and quite confident about what he's doing. And can he close? I think he can be a closer. Can he be a high leverage setup man? Absolutely. Can he be a starter? We're beginning to answer that question, and the early returns are very good.
John Rooney with us here on the Gashouse Gang on KMOX, and starting pitching has certainly not really been an issue for the team this season. They have pitched well enough to win a lot of ball games, even the ones they have not. And they have been doing the 6-man rotation thing, even though Steven Matz was available out of the bullpen over the weekend. And I believe the idea is to keep doing this into May and see how it goes. But so far, as you've watched this unfold, John, how do you feel about the 6-man deal?
It's back to a 5-man right now, and they'll go to it again, I think, in another week or so.
Right.
They're just trying to keep guys healthy. They're trying to limit the workload. If they don't go back to a 5-man, there'll be 2 or 3 guys that'll be pitching on 7 days rest with a day off. So they wanted to avoid that, and that's why Matz was available out of the bullpen.
Yep.
But he won't make his start this time, but he will the next time because of limited days off. And that's the way they're monitoring and using that. That's why they're doing it. Would they stay with a 5-man under normal circumstances? I believe so. But when games start mounting up, then an extra day's rest could keep these guys healthy and well into July, August, and September. And that's the plan.
John, what do you see in the Atlanta Braves? They will come in here having just swept the Minnesota Twins over the weekend.
and they play better at home than they have on the road. They are very similar to the Cardinals in that regard, and they're trying to get some of their confidence back and feel good about things. And they have a little controversy around what's going on in Atlanta. I guess Kelnick didn't run a ball out, was thrown out at second base, and wasn't taken out of the game. And
yeah, he thought it was a home run.
Rehabbing. Well, he was thrown out at second. I didn't see the play, and I've read a lot of the stuff about it. Wasn't there, so I don't know. But Cunha said that he was yanked from a game, and some others, and Kelnick wasn't. And that's as Jack Buck once said when Joe Torre had pitched Ken Obergefell in the playoffs, when thought that Joe was going to bring in a left-hander to face him. Why he didn't, I don't know. Then again, it's no concern of mine. And that's kind of the way I feel about this too. But let them handle their issues. Kelnick's normally a guy who plays at breakneck speed, and he's not having a very good year. But stuff happens, and they got a little controversy going with that. And maybe they'll handle it well, maybe they won't. But they do have some pretty good pitching. And they have Spencer Strider back, and he's going to pitch against the Cardinals in this series. And it's Schwellenbach who pitches tonight against Eric Fetty. And I look for very good competitive games. The Cardinals have only really been out of one game, that 18-run game the Red Sox had the Sunday night, second game of a doubleheader. So they're competitive. It's a young team going through some growing pains, and I'd love to see Nolan Gorman make some more contact, as he's leaving a lot of runners on, and I hope that doesn't wear on him. Before he got hurt, he had a really nice swing going and a good beginning to his season, but then a hamstring issue put him on the IL, and he's had a little trouble getting the timing back. But this series is going to feature good pitching, and it's an Atlanta team that has sluggers like Riley and Olson, and Harris is a really good center fielder. His season is going to pick up. And they're hoping to get Cunha back maybe sometime in May. Ozzie Albies does a great job in the middle infield and in their lineup. And they have a really good catcher in Sean Murphy. They're the Atlanta Braves yet, even though they don't have a record that they're used to. They are still tough to deal with.
Yeah, so the Cardinals have this 3-gamer against the Braves. Then they will enjoy an off day on Thursday. Then coming back home, it is 3 against the Brewers over the weekend, John. And that's a team, every single year we do this, or at least I do it, where I'm not quite sure what I think of them. Don't know how competitive they're going to be. And right now they're in second place in the division. I know it's still early, but they appear to be a competitive team again in this division. And they have been a real pain for the Cardinals. So it'd be nice to see them do something against Milwaukee after this series here against the Braves, obviously.
Well, they have the 3 with Milwaukee, and then they go to Cincinnati for 4, and Cincinnati's been scoring runs like crazy. They did against Baltimore. And Terry Francona has them playing at a 500 pace right now, and many believe they can be better than that because of their starting pitching. The question with Milwaukee, do they have enough pitching to go through the long haul? When they get on base, they run like crazy. Well, they have 6 stolen bases in the first inning. The game yesterday, they run when they get the chance. And that will be something that will be pressure on whether it's Pais or it's Pozo behind the plate, and for the pitchers to do their part as well. But it's good to have a couple of series against division teams after we played so much interleague, and then we played outside the division with the Mets and coming down to Atlanta.
I hear that. Oh, we just spent a lot of time discussing Mason Wynn, and if and when he comes back. Well, he is going to come back, but when he comes back, what you do with the transaction there, I don't know. But sure was nice to see Mason hit a couple of bombs. I mean, maybe we will see a resurgence in Mason Wynn when he bounces back.
I kind of think, he's going to hit, Tom. You know that. Mm-hmm. He's going to hit his part and get on base and create some havoc just like he does when he's in the field. We miss his range in the field, but I'd have to say, well, we've seen out of JC and we've seen out of Brendan Donovan playing shortstop. They're not Mason Wynn with the throwing arm or the range, but they've done a really nice job in his absence. And with Thomas JC, I kind of think he'd be the guy sent down, even though he's hitting the ball like crazy right now, because at his stage of development, he's 22 years old. You want him to play. Do you want him sitting on the bench as a right-handed batter, occasionally getting into games, or do you want him to play and get a chance to develop even more and to improve playing second, short, third base? he can play a number of positions that would keep him in the lineup. So I kind of think that'll be the move, but I'm not sure. That's a higher pay grade than mine, thank goodness. And I like the way he swings the bat right now, the energy he brings to the team, and I like the energy and everything that Mason Wynn brings to a team. But for Luken Baker, a right-handed bat off the bench, he's been getting on base as a pinch hitter, always capable of hitting a home run. Then, of course, you have your backup catcher who's available off the bench. Siani has been used as a pinch runner and late-inning defensive work, and we have to see how satisfied they are by his play. And he's been hitting the ball well in his few at-bats in games lately and got a base hit in his last outing. So it's an interesting move coming up when Mason is available. I believe he's available tomorrow to come off the injured list.
It'd be nice to see him back in the lineup and see what he's capable of doing. Hey, I got one real quick baseball thing. It's not really Cardinals related, but it involves Paul Goldschmidt.
Are we talking baseball?
Yeah.
I thought we were talking recipes and movie reviews.
Well, if you want to, we can shift.
What do you have for us?
So yesterday, it was the Yankees game, and Max Fried, who it was throwing a no-hitter. And it was late in the game, and maybe you saw this, maybe you didn't, but there was a ball to Paul Goldschmidt's right. He went to field it, sort of bobbled it. Runner beats it out. They call it, at the time, an error. Then they go back in the 8th inning. While Fried has this no-hitter going, and he's thinking he's in the middle of a no-hitter, the scorekeeper goes back and changes it to a hit because he said the runner would have beat it out anyway. Do you recall ever a time like that where it takes a lot of guts to be the scorekeeper and go back and make that call after the fact, which is what this guy did?
Well, I'm really going to sound like an old timer here, but no, I haven't seen that. And most scorers that I've known over the years, they want a clean hit to define breaking up a no-hitter. And to me, I didn't see it, but that doesn't sound like a clean hit. But it is the official scorer making the call. That score is right.
It is. I can't imagine that happening at Yankee Stadium. It happened at the Yankees minor league or spring training facility, Steinbrenner Field, which is where the Rays play. But anyway, that
rough.
I'm with John on that one.
It was rough. All right, John Rooney, you will have the call tonight with Rick Horton, 6:15.
Ricky will have the call too.
Yeah.
He's here.
Yeah, Ricky will be there, 6:15.
He survived the subway in New York.
Well, the subway's not that bad. I like the subway. 5:20 pregame show, John. 6:15 was 6:15 first. You try the subway out. You'll love it.
No, thank you.
Okay. See you, John.
See you, buddy.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
John Rooney. 5:20 pregame, 6:15 first pitch. You can hear it here on 104.1 FM, KMOX, and the free Odyssey app. Tom Ackerman and Chris Ranji.
I'm with you. I take the subway once in a while. Not all the time, but I don't mind it.
I don't mind the subway. I don't mind the L. I'm good with all of it.
Yeah, dude.
Doesn't make me nervous. The Gashouse Gang is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, SaligaHeatingandCooling.com.
We are Missouri Farm Bureau Insurance, and we're here for all of life's wins. Like when you get a new car, or new boat, or new driver, or when your son moves out, but your mom moves in, or you find out you're expecting again, or when one rental property turns into 2, then 20, or you realize they're all in Tornado Alley. Life is full of life events, so call your Missouri Farm Bureau Insurance agent or visit mofbinsurance.com to find an agent near you, and we'll make sure you have the right coverage for each of life's wins.
We are Missouri Farm Bureau Insurance, and we're for the people of Missouri, in good times and in bad. We're for Missouri families and Missouri communities. We're for giving back to those communities and lifting people up. And when Missouri weather rips through our state, we're for helping put back the pieces. We're for brighter days and new tomorrows. We are Missouri Farm Bureau Insurance, and if you live in Missouri, we're for you.
Hey, it's Matt Pauley telling you about i3 Broadband. It might be time for you to go ahead and switch out your internet. It was amazing when the Pauley household brought in i3 Broadband. The speeds are so much faster. We're saving a few dollars. The service is fantastic. I never have to worry, a storm is coming in. I wonder if my internet's going to go out. They've got local service centers in St. Charles County and the Metro East. It is St. Louis people who are working for i3 Broadband. See if they're available in your neighborhood. Check them out. i3broadband.com.
The Ultimate Drive, hosted by Albert Pujols and benefiting the Pujols Family Foundation, returns Thursday, May 22nd to Top Golf in Chesterfield. Enjoy dinner and drinks, play golf with a celebrity, and support Albert and the Pujols Family Foundation. Limited days remain. Reserve yours today at PujolsFamilyFoundation.org or go to KMOX.com/events for more info. The Ultimate Drive, hosted by Albert Pujols, sponsored in part by KMOX and Top Golf.
This May, the Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup is coming back to St. Louis. Join us at Energizer Park for the round of 32 as St. Louis City SC plays for this historic trophy. Get tickets now at stlcitysc.com/Open Cup.
I had the worst dream last night. You were in a car crash and the kids and I were on our own. We had to move out of the house because I couldn't afford it anymore.
That's awful, hon.
My brother got life insurance from Ethos and it only took 10 minutes. And he got $2 million in coverage for around $2 a day. It's all online. No medical exam. He just answered a few health questions right from his house.
Ethos, here we come.
Visit ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
Sample rate is a 10-year term life policy for 35-year-old healthy, non-smoking male. Billed monthly.
Johns Hopkins University has found that just mild hearing loss doubles your risk of dementia. So hearing loss isn't something to ignore.
But hearing aids are so expensive and ugly.
Not anymore. Meet Audien Hearing. You can get nearly invisible hearing aids without a prescription starting at $98 a pair, and they're ready to use right out of the box. Rated the best hearing aids of 2025 by Forbes Health, and with over 1 million customers, Audien is easy to trust. Visit AudienHearing.com. That's AUDIEN Hearing.com.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Our firm handles hundreds of crash cases involving semi-trucks every year. A crash case involving semis is much different. And if you don't know what you're doing, you can leave lots of money on the table. Many times there is separate insurance for the cab and for the trailer. Sometimes there are actually layers of other insurances and excess insurance that some lawyers may not know about because they don't see that many cases. We see these cases every day. Also, there are federal laws governing the hours a driver may drive in a 24-hour period and logs that are required. A crash case involving a semi-truck is a totally different animal than a simple car crash. We have lawyers who only handle these cases. It's all they do. Rolling the dice with the wrong law firm can be disastrous. Call us on your cell phone at Pound Law, pound 529. It's so easy. Injured? Dial Pound Law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Now, back to the Gashouse Gang on your home of the St. Louis Cardinals. 1120 AM, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
That's playoffs. There's momentum swings, and some things don't go your way when you want them. We're going to do a better job, obviously, with the better third period. They came at us hard, and we'll make some adjustments to clean it up and be ready for tonight.
Braden Shen, the Blues tonight have Game 2 of the Stanley Cup playoffs. They have just gotten underway against Winnipeg. They had that 3-2 lead on Saturday. They let that one slip away. So they will try to even up the series before they come back home to play here in St. Louis. Tom Ackerman, Chris Ranji on the Gashouse Gang, 104.1 FM KMOX. The podcasts are always available to you if you want to go back and listen later if you missed something. Odyssey app, KMOX.com, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. They're all there, Tom.
I'm very excited about tonight's game, Game 2, Blues-Jets, and I think the Blues still can put pressure on Winnipeg here. I think there's a lot of pressure on Winnipeg to win this game. You don't want to come to St. Louis 1-1. Thursday is going to be absolutely bonkers. I mean, the face-off will be just before 9 o'clock. Those fans will be out drinking all day. It's going to be a wound-up crowd. Late night crowd should be a blast. They've got the game on Sunday at noon, maybe a little more tame of a crowd, but the Thursday night crowd in Game 3, whether it's 0-2 or 1-1, is going to be absolutely nuts. And, I thought that the Blues played okay in Game 1. They just let it get away from them in the third period. Winnipeg just possessed the puck, and that's really what it comes down to. You got to get possession of the puck, get some shots on goal. You've got to stop with the silly penalties. putting yourself in shorthanded situations.
There's a lot of penalties.
Jake Neighbors slashing, Zach Bolduc cross-check. Those are the two that stand out to me, young guys that we're kind of picking on here, but they've got to be better. And it sounded like Neighbors, especially listening to him yesterday during the skate, after the skate, talked about that, how he needs to be smarter when it comes to that. But they all seem to play and get amped up. We all know it's intense. They're hitting like crazy, which is great, but that also means that they don't have the puck. When they have the puck and they play, they have scorers. And so it's time to put shots on Hellebuck, and you can win this game. You can win this game too, without a doubt.
Yeah, I think the bottom line is you need to go there and steal one. Go and steal one. You'll feel pretty good about coming back home. You remember that the series in 2019 against Winnipeg, all four of the first four games, they were all road wins, right? It was the Blues won the first two on the road. Winnipeg comes to St. Louis. They win the first two at home. And that was I know it's a completely different deal now, different teams, completely different situation, but stealing one on the road is a very big deal.
Yeah, the only thing...
I really thought Saturday was going to be that one, but it can still be tonight. They just really want to leave town with a win.
Well, one thing hasn't changed: the buildings and the fans. It's the same
That's
atmosphere,
true.
right?
Yeah.
So both wild, crazy, fun home crowds. But I think the Blues navigated that one pretty well. They just let it get away in the third period. It's time to buckle down and be ready for this great game too. I think it's going to be awesome. Both going on at the same time. Cards, Braves, Blues, Jets.
Yeah, Cardinals start 15 minutes before the Blues and Jets do. Cardinals get going at 6:15, and then the Blues will play at 6:30. If you're watching on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitter, you are always welcome to send in a comment. Samuel messaging in, talking about Thomas Sajaci. He says sending him down now would be like not taking Scott on the opening day roster. What kind of message does that send to the organization? I don't think it's the same thing. I understand the tone that he's going with here, that here comes a guy, he's producing, he's proving it right now in the short time he's here. How could you send him back down? I think that's a little bit different than trying to figure out your roster in spring training, and this guy's just killing it for a full month. Like you would have to make that call like they did with Scott.
Yeah,
this is a little bit different, but I understand where he's coming from.
And this one was directed at me. Nick said, let's say Walker, Gorman, Burley, Scott, any other runway players finish the year as they are now. Do you just run it back again for a fourth year? Nick, I'm not sure what you mean by as they are now. I think you got to let them play out. I think this next year is Chaim Bloom's year. I mean, he is going to determine who stays, who goes. And by the way, keep an eye on this trade deadline. Because if the Cardinals are out of it as they are right now, if they're out of it, well, you're going to see some change.
It could be a very young team after the trade deadline.
Yeah.
It already is pretty young. It could be even younger.
Those guys might be veterans by the time.
That's right.
That time.
Tom Ackerman will do it again tomorrow, but with Bernie Miklas and Ollie Marmol, manager of the Cardinals, always joins us on Tuesday for the first half hour. He takes questions from all of us and from you. So you will want to tune in for that. Leave us your questions, and we will get to as many of them as we can do. So Tom Ackerman, Chris Ranji, thanks to Kevin Wheeler, thanks to John Rooney. It is the Gashouse Gang. We're back with you tomorrow at 12 on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Why do the national tax resolution firms need the tiny fine print at the bottom?